on this episode of Mythbusters Junior.
I'm dressed for fire.
Valerie, Cannon, and Jesse sniff out a potentially serious sanitation situation.
Oh! That a lithium-based battery thrown in the trash, we have a fire, can end up setting off a cataclysmic chain reaction of explosions and fire.
We have a trash fire! Yeah.
Inside a garbage truck.
Oh, there's another one! That's a big, oh!
Like popcorn from hell.
While Allie, Elijah, and Rachel
I did it!
put the phrase straight as an arrow
I think this crossbow will scare the arrow into flying straight.
to a literally legendary test.
Almost crapped my pants. So much power.
What?
No way! No way!
Yes, I'm back. With a brand new team of the best builders, the brightest minds, and the boldest busters I could find. Yes, they're a bunch of kids, but the myths, ha! They are as full-size and as explosive as ever. This is Mythbusters Junior. Here is the scenario. Americans throw out over 3 billion batteries into the trash every single year. Imagine a single lithium-based battery catches fire, and the fire sets fire to other lithium-based batteries in the same garbage truck, which explode in a chain reaction like popcorn from hell.
Definitely not good for the garbage truck.
Or the garbage man. Or woman.
Indeed.
Okay, so big question. What causes a lithium battery to ignite?
That, I think, is the very first thing we should answer.
They won't have to look far to find discarded batteries, so long as someone's prepared to go dumpster diving.
Oh, Jesse got the short straw. You're gonna want these.
Oh, yes.
I hope he finds something. I like to call this myth hot garbage. We all know that you shouldn't throw batteries in the trash. If you didn't know, now you do. Oh, awesome.
Here you go.
To help us do research on this subject, we have enlisted the services of a standout PhD student, Cannon's 16-year-old brother, Carson. He's a college grad working towards his PhD at 16, and Cannon is a college sophomore at 12. That's more college than I have.
For Carson, electrochemical processes are no big mystery.
Essentially, the first thing we're going to want to look at is what's going on inside of the battery.
For the rest of us, here's the simple version. Dividing the cell is an ultra-thin permeable membrane that allows lithium ions to pass between the cathode and the anode sides, discharging stored electricity. When the separator ruptures, it starts an exothermal reaction, where the temperature spirals out of control.
So the only thing keeping a lithium battery from exploding is this 10-micron thick thing. And if it gets breached, all hell breaks loose.
Right. It's so thin that if we have any heat or pressure applied to it, and the point that it cracks, we're going to reach what's called thermal runaway. This reaction goes completely volatile to a point where it reaches over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa! Why is it so volatile with lithium? Is it just about the ion transfer?
It's about the metal that's actually making up the lithium battery.
Okay.
Lithium on its own reacts with water in a very vigorous reaction. And then we also have the electrolyte that can also catch fire and explode.
This sounds terrifying.
It really is.
Okay, good. Just checking.
The 3 most common causes of explosive battery failure are pressure or puncturing, exposure to heat, and exposure to moisture.
Well, any one of these modes can actually happen in a garbage truck.
Yeah, I think the next step is pretty clear. Let's get some batteries and apply these compromised situations to them, and hopefully we'll be witnessing some spectacular fireworks.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of experiment.
For robotics expert Valerie and mechanical whiz Jesse, building a serious battery basher is right up their respective alleys.
Talking to Carson has made me realize how easily you could blow up a battery. I mean, lithium-based batteries are everywhere, to your laptop, cell phone, or even your TV remote. I'm equally excited as I am terrified to test this myth.
Powered by compressed air, this car jack built into a box frame has already been christened the Muncher.
All right, nice work.
Ready to crush some things?
Yes.
All right.
Every one of us is familiar with the phrase straight as an arrow. When it's used to describe a person, we mean somebody who is honest, genuine, and true. When used literally, we mean something that flies in a perfectly straight, unwavering flight. But does an arrow truly fly straight? We've all seen movies in which archers aim their longbows in high arcs over ancient armies. Those aren't flying straight, so clearly we're talking about a shorter range target shooting kind of scenario for testing this story.
This isn't the first time the Mythbusters have dabbled with bows and arrows. Best remembered is the Robin Hood myth of one arrow splitting another clear down the middle.
I didn't split the arrow, but I split the feathers.
Wow, look at that.
That's getting really close.
This one was partially busted. It worked with a shaft of fiberglass or bamboo,
We're gonna put the machine right on it, fire it, and see if that is able to split an arrow.
but not with wood.
I'm thinking this is busted right here, personally.
As for today's Mythbusters, neither Rachel nor Elijah have picked up a bow and arrow before. Allie, on the other hand,
I really like archery, and we do it a lot in South Dakota. We even get graded on it in school.
and today, everyone's getting a master class. To help out with today's myth, Adams wrangled a man who definitely knows one end of an arrow from the other.
Byron Ferguson is world-renowned as one of the best marksmen in the history of archery. He is definitely someone who will hit whatever he is aiming at. As far as whether or not that arrow is flying true, well, he's also the best person to help us answer that question.
The team couldn't hope for a better instructor.
Hold the bow still until the arrow hits the target. Only 3 fingers on the string.
That's scary.
With some basic skills under their belts, Allie and Elijah decide on a shootout to see who's the best Mythbuster marksman.
Perfect. Great shot.
Inspired by the reckless parenting practices of William Tell, this exercise involves Buster and a ripe green apple.
Go ahead and try again. Did you hit him in the face?
Wait.
Maybe.
Elijah, Allie,
Oh!
and Adam
Okay, that's way high.
take turns at the target.
Oh, that was so close.
That was so close.
And it's only a matter of time before someone fillets the fruit.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, yes!
You did it!
Yay! Oh my goodness.
Right up here.
Totally wasn't
Amazing.
expecting that at all. Man.
Allie's success proves infectious.
Ah! Woo! Oh, that is deeply, deeply satisfying.
But testing the myth will demand a degree of repeatable accuracy that might be beyond them.
What do you think, you guys? Are we ready to start setting up cameras and empirically testing the flights of arrows?
Well, I mean, we did hit the apple a couple of times, but that's out of a lot of shots, and I think we're a little bit too inconsistent to get good readings.
I'm terrible at this. I vote for bringing in an expert.
I second that vote.
I third it.
Okay, let's do it.
Huzzah! And onward, fellow knights!
Huzzah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, Byron, can you show us some of your skills?
Yeah, let's start with an apple. I see you got an apple there. Let's see what we can do with that.
How confident are you in hitting this apple every time?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I'll hit it every time.
Oh,
If I miss it, it's because Adam didn't throw it right.
okay.
I'll take those odds.
Here.
Okay. Ah, yeah, almost. There we go.
They're about to find out if Byron lives up to his own publicity.
my goodness. That was beautiful.
Unbelievable.
That was really good.
Look at that. Right through the middle. Beautiful.
The master archer is ready, willing, and very able.
All right, Byron, fire when ready. Whoa.
It seems a no-brainer to call that shot as straight as an arrow. Until Rachel hits play on the high speed.
It looks like this arrow isn't flying very straight.
It's like bending around the front of the bow.
It's literally
Oh my goodness.
like a noodle. That's moving a lot more than I thought it would.
Probing the Smith suddenly got a whole lot more complicated.
To the naked eye, an arrow doesn't seem to curve. But in the high speed, it seemed to curve a lot more than anyone expected it to, or any of us expected it to. I don't understand what's going on. My mind is boggled.
To challenge the myth of the garbage truck battery inferno, Jesse and Valerie have built a formidable battery crusher for small-scale testing.
This is our battery buffet. In order to be thorough with our testing, we've collected a wide range of batteries. We'll start by picking a battery, recording its voltage, and sending it to the testing platform.
This is our battery destruction activation station. And when I pull this lever, the pressure is on.
And a high-pressure environment it will be. This heavy-duty steel-welded box frame has a car jack built into its base that when Jesse pulls the lever will apply 40,000 pounds of force to crush every battery we are testing. We like to call him the Muncher.
They've got a fan to disperse any fumes and an infrared camera to capture the combustion. The Muncher's first meal is a common enough household power source.
This is 9-volt lithium.
In all the following tests, we've obviously not followed the manufacturer's safety warnings. Under no circumstances should this ever be attempted at home.
Come on, give us some fire.
Oh, it's like squishing a can.
And it's every bit as fun as squishing a can.
Right.
Gotta get some fire. I'm dressed for fire.
And he might still get it. The next battery on the menu is one Jesse knows all too well.
I've actually had some close calls with lithium batteries, such as this one. My friend actually had an RC car and he went to go charge his battery, and they suspected that the battery caused his garage to literally burn down.
Lithium polymer batteries use a different kind of electrolyte, and their relatively lightweight makes them ideal for gadgets like Jesse's pal's ill-fated RC car.
Now that we're moving on to our bigger batteries that can release toxic fumes, we have to wear our respirators. Safety first, right guys?
This is lithium polymer RC battery. In 3, 2, 1.
Contact!
Oh! Oh, it's smoking! Ah!
Oh!
Oh, God! Oh, my God!
Stop!
It's the proof they need that a lithium-based battery can ignite under pressure. And when you're on a roll...
Hey, let's try this one.
Oh, what is that?
Same as before, lithium polymer, just bigger.
All right. That looks scary.
It's around twice the voltage of the battery that just went up in smoke.
Valerie, are you ready for this?
Yes!
All right. This is bigger lithium polymer. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go!
Contact!
It looks like the Muncher has only succeeded in making another lithium flapjack. Until...
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
That is a lot of smoke.
Wow!
Oh my God!
And you know the old saying, where there's smoke, there's generally...
Oh, it's on fire!
We have a fire!
It's on fire now!
The FLIR camera confirms that they've got what they wanted. High-pressure combustion.
We got sparks, smoke, and even fire. Awesome for us, but not so great for our garbage man. We also found out the higher the voltage the battery was at, we got more explosive results.
The higher voltage creates a higher current when shorted, which generates a higher temperature. And while things are heating up here, Our amateur archers can't quite agree on the truth of the idiom, straight as an arrow.
Of course an arrow can fly straight, because that's what they've been doing for hundreds of years, and that's what they're designed to do.
I don't think this is the case. I think an arrow flies in an arc. Why do I think this? Because gravity. It's a thing.
But here's a thing the team didn't expect. Even in the hands of an expert archer, an arrow shimmies like a hula dancer in high heels.
All right, so this is a longbow, and as you can tell, the string and the bow are completely aligned. But the arrow goes on the side, so that's already an obstacle that the arrow has to overcome. The arrow has to go around the bow and do kind of like a fishtailing motion to get to the target.
According to Byron, it's a well-known phenomenon called the archer's paradox.
The archer's paradox is the effect of the arrow actually contorting through the air, trying to correct itself in flight. The reason for it is when you apply pressure to the back of the arrow, of course it's going to kind of bow up and warp it a little sideways with all that pressure before it actually starts moving.
Even over a short distance, an on-target arrow may wobble. But does that really mean that it doesn't fly straight? A definitive answer demands a definitive test. So it's all hands to the workshop to reconstruct a legendary arrow obstacle course. This particular challenge is actually a myth in itself, and it involves a dozen replica double-bladed battle axes. While Greek hero Odysseus was fighting the Trojan Wars, Penelope was left to fend off a bunch of unwanted admirers. She promised to marry whichever man could fire an arrow through 12 axe heads, confident that the shot was impossible. But Odysseus returned, and in disguise, took the shot and nailed it. If the Mythbusters can somehow repeat that success, it would prove beyond doubt that an arrow flies straight and true.
Here we have our 12 axes with the targets of 3 inches in diameter, inspired by Odysseus' archery trick shot. So we're gonna have Byron take this shot and see if he can get through all 12 with his longbow. They say it's impossible, so good luck, bro.
It's a daunting prospect. Even Byron has his doubts.
Now, I know shooting through a 3-inch ring shouldn't be a very hard shot, and it's not. Shooting through 3 or 4 of them, not a hard shot. Shooting through 12 of them, it's a very hard shot, doing it with a traditional bow.
Calling this a hard shot is a massive understatement. And with a quiver full of arrows, Byron's not about to lay down his longbow.
Whoa! Come on, get on through there.
Every time, he smoothly shoots the arrows through at least the first few rings.
Oh, so close.
But the slightest touch of shaft or fletching on metal spells disaster for this treacherous trick shot.
If your arrow comes into contact with even so much as a blade of grass, it's going to throw it off. Mine came in contact with 1/4-inch steel. I think the archer's paradox is what did me in. Anyway, I couldn't do it. I tried. And while I'm thinking about it, great shot, Odysseus.
But failure here doesn't necessarily bust the myth that an arrow flies straight. It just means they've pushed the limits of human skill with this type of bow. In the garbage truck inferno myth, Jesse and Valerie have shown in small-scale testing that simply crushing a lithium battery can trigger a blaze.
Oh, it's on fire! It's on fire!
Canon, Carson, and resident design expert John Marcoux
Let's hook it up.
All right.
are testing the second major cause of battery explosions, exposure to heat. They've got the propane fire and a steel mesh battery cradle. Step 1, gently broiling a lithium AA.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, there we go.
Oh my God, that is beautiful.
Yeah, it's sparking all over the place.
Look at that. It's like way cooler than fireworks. I know what you're thinking. Of course the battery's gonna burn. You're putting it on fire. We want to see if it's gonna burn, if it's gonna burst into a giant fireball enough to light another battery and another battery and another battery and cause this chain reaction that will just burn a trash truck to the ground.
Now that they've tasted success, they all want to go bigger. The lithium polymer RC battery should fit the bill.
Seeing how it's lithium and it's 4-cell, I think something big is going to happen with this one.
But Cannon's enthusiasm looks like it could cost John more than an eyebrow.
We have ignition. Lowering RC lithium polymer battery in... Oh, okay, never mind then.
Wait, no!
We'll chalk that up to youthful enthusiasm. With John now a safe distance back from the flames.
In 3, 2, 1. Oh! That was quick. I can see some orangey red flame.
Within seconds, the propane flames engulf the battery.
Oh, starting to puff up. The entire thing is just on fire now.
And then...
Oh, it's like... Oh! 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 That's amazing! This is much more beautiful than the last one.
Jetting out sideways!
That was awesome. We had a much larger flame than any of our previous batteries. I think this is looking pretty promising for the Myth. If we get one battery to catch on fire, I think it'll set off a chain reaction and cause other batteries to catch on fire.
With fire and pressure both proving potentially catastrophic to discarded lithium batteries, there are just a couple of quick tests left to run.
We've been using this little guy here, and we've basically been pancaking our batteries. Now we're gonna try something new with a wedge, and we're gonna see if we get any different result, or even a better result.
The wedge makes spectacularly short work of a succession of batteries.
There wasn't even any smoke.
Contact. Nothing.
That was exciting.
The reliably combustible lithium polymer battery at least puts on a show.
Oh! Oh my God!
But stops short of catching a light.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
Meantime, Cannon, Carson, and John are taking their testing a full 180, from fire to water.
A potential failure mode of lithium batteries is when the lithium comes in contact with moisture in general, and that's what we're setting up to test right now.
Cue 1 flask of water and 1 heavily damaged battery.
This is what's inside a AA, in case you were wondering. Let's see how reactive it is.
Wow.
Oh, there's something.
That's really doing something.
There's no doubt about it, but could it actually catch fire?
Oh, we have fire! Yeah, fire!
Apparently, yes.
Oh! All we did was we took the lithium out of a AA battery, we put it into water, and we got this massive, burst into flames. It seems kind of counterintuitive at first, but then you think about how lithium is volatile when it comes into contact with water, so you can kind of see where that explosion comes from.
And with that, they wrap up their modes of ignition tests.
Now that we know all the failure modes of these batteries and that they definitely can explode, it's time to see if we can simulate what happened here in the back of a garbage truck.
So while Jesse prepares to get trashy, it's back to the riddle of the unswerving arrow. Proving the myth that an arrow flies straight demands pretty much perfect execution. Byron did his best to match this mythical trick shot.
Oh, so close.
But the problem here lies with the tools, not the tradesmen.
We want our arrows to fly as straight as possible, and rather than continue using a longbow, which has quite a bit of Archer's paradox, we're going to move on to a different bow that is rumored to cut down on this effect. It's time to see a compound bow in action.
Helping to rig this delicately deadly device is Mythbusters mentor, Tamara.
We've got our hand trigger already in place.
This time, they won't need a human to fire the arrow.
And this is rated to Byron, so it is a 70-pound pull.
They first need to see if the compound bow lives up to its legend. Can it repeatedly shoot an arrow on the exact same trajectory?
So now that our compound bow is rigged up, we're gonna dial it in, and we hope to get consistent data and straight arrow paths right into the bullseye.
Mechanized arrow shooting is nothing new. In fact, Tori, Carrie, and Grant once reconstructed the fabled Korean hwacha
Quick, your army is attacking! Run, Grant!
to see if it really could shoot 200 fire arrows a distance of 500 feet. When every arrow but one was launched, this incredible myth was resoundingly confirmed.
Range is hot. Arrows loaded. This is the compound bow dialing it in test.
Cool. All right, in 3, 2, 1.
It's not dead center, but that doesn't matter. They want to see if a succession of shots can all hit the same spot.
Brilliant!
The compound bow is accurate to the point of perfection.
Alrighty, let's take a look at the high speed.
And now the team wants to see what those arrows were doing in super slow motion.
It looks like it's still wobbling. It looks like there's still some movement in there, but it's just on a different axis.
Most of that is just coming from the amount of force that the bow has to push on it in order to get it moving in the first place.
Totally agree.
When we first reviewed the high speed, we saw there was a little bit of oscillation in the arrow, and we were like, what? Why is that there? But if you think about it, it actually makes sense. Because of the force that the bow is putting on the arrow in the first place to get it moving, it causes a slight bend in the arrow itself. And as these fletchings over here are stabilizing the flight by causing it to spin, it actually creates a slight rotational motion around an axis with the arrow. So we are getting some motion in the arrow, it's just not the motion that we were expecting.
This beautiful compound bow here looks like it's eliminated the archer's paradox. But when you look at it at a different angle, the arrow is still oscillating. So what's a girl gotta do to get an arrow to fly straight around here?
Okay, so here is our story. That a lithium-based battery thrown in the trash can end up setting off a cataclysmic chain reaction of explosions and fire inside a garbage truck.
Right now, the team wants to see if their incendiary small-scale results are repeatable in the kind of compactor that garbage trucks use.
Hey bro, check this out. Say hello to my little friend. Oh.
After a few very productive hours in the shop, they're good to go.
This is our custom-made trash compactor, and here's how it works. So over here is our 16,000-pound cylinder, and over here is where our trash goes. When this cylinder is activated, it's gonna push our crush pad over to this side, and it's gonna crush all of our trash and potentially cause one of our batteries to fail, catch fire, or possibly explode.
Carson, though, is not optimistic.
Just knowing that we have so many variables and it's not as controlled as the individual tests, I don't think it's gonna work.
The compactor is filled with bags of typical household waste,
Here's our trash.
including a handful of used batteries.
All right, good to go. All right, are you guys ready?
Ready. I'm ready.
Let's do this. This is trash compactor test in 3, 2, 1. Woo!
Inch by stinking inch, the metal plate crushes the trash. But will this steady squeeze actually succeed in igniting a battery?
Oh! It's on fire! Oh! Wow! Oh! Wow! Oh my goodness! Wow! Ah! That happened awful quickly. I mean, as soon as everything started to like,
Whoa!
whoop.
Woo! Well, the battery got on fire.
Oh!
Woo!
And right there is the key to this myth. For the truck to be truly at risk, one fizzing battery has to set off another.
It's a chain reaction. Other batteries are setting other batteries on fire.
Right.
This is awesome.
And potentially catastrophic. One reason these fires are so dangerous is that once started, they're extremely hard to put out.
We've been battling this thing for easily 5-10 minutes now, and it's still not out. These metals just do not want to extinguish. They burn on their own. We've tried CO2, we've tried snuffing it, we're pulling stuff out, we're trying sand, everything. This is some crazy stuff.
In their bid to bust or confirm the idiom straight as an arrow, the Mythbusters have a conundrum to solve. In one sense, it kind of seems true.
Brilliant!
In another, it kind of doesn't.
It looks like it's still wobbling.
To settle things once and for all, the team has proposed one heck of a stunt, the legendary Odysseus Challenge. Because it's all about the arrow, they owe it to the myth to find the best bow they can. And that might just be the crossbow.
Like our compound bow, we've got cams that give a mechanical advantage and a scope that helps us aim true. One big difference that you'll notice, though, is that we have this flight groove, which allows our arrow to have complete alignment with our string, which is a major advantage.
It also shoots bolts, which are technically smaller versions of arrows that are also way thicker. Looks like an arrow to me.
Again, the plan is for hands-free firing, so Tamara's rigged up a sturdy mount.
All right, looks good.
And a remote trigger system.
Secondary safety is set.
Now they've seen it set up, the team is prepared to make some predictions.
The draw strength of our crossbow is equivalent to 20 pounds more than our compound bow. To me, this tells me that there's more force being pushed on the arrow, so hopefully we're gonna get a straight flight.
I think this crossbow will scare the arrow into flying straight.
Primary safety is off. Secondary safety is off. Crossbow's hot.
Crossbow test in 3, 2, 1.
Wow!
I just almost crapped my pants.
So much power!
As with the compound bow, they fire off a few more rounds to get some useful data. They can already see that it's not as precise as the compound bow.
With our compound bow, we had the arrow hit the exact same spot every single time, but with our crossbow, we're having a nice tight grouping. So although it might not be as consistent as the compound bow, we still don't know how the arrow flies.
True, it's high time for the high speed.
That arrow definitely seems to be flying straight as it leaves the crossbow.
Yeah, even here it looks like it's flying pretty straight. I mean, we're only seeing just a tiny bit of oscillation, but other than that, it looks way better than the other ones.
So which bow do they choose? An objective opinion might help.
All right, Allie, tell me where we're at with arrows and bows.
Well, Byron told us about the archer's paradox, and when you look at his longbow shooting, then you can actually see a lot of oscillation throughout the entire flight, so it's really prominent.
Look at that! Well, you could just see it snaking right out of the bow. That's incredible.
All right, so when we moved on to a compound bow, then it minimized the amount of oscillation and it had really good accuracy.
This was being fired mechanically, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Plus, it looks like the oscillation is up and down instead of side to side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you compare the compound bow against anything?
Well, we compared the compound bow against a crossbow, and the crossbow made it even straighter.
Yeah.
And it had accuracy. But the compound bow shot into the same hole every time.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That sounds like the one we have to go with.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Going full scale on the garbage truck battery inferno myth, the team has found an ideal test site, the Pleasanton Garbage and Recycling Center.
We've experimentally proven that lithium-based batteries can ignite under a variety of circumstances, and that's awesome, but it's not the myth. Remember, the myth is that when one of them goes off in a confined space, like a dumpster or a garbage truck, it can set off other batteries that happen to be nearby. Popcorn from hell is what we're looking for. It's what I'm hoping for. And oh man, I cannot believe they're letting us use a brand new garbage truck to test this in. One of the greatest perks for me in being a Mythbuster is getting to peek behind the things that make our world work and getting to see how they work. And this is a new one on me. I'm inside a garbage truck right now, and I have never been inside a garbage truck. I've always wondered what was going on inside. And now I'm standing in the business end of a half-back front loader. That is the type of truck I'm in. And this back wall is a compressor. So when they dump trash in through the opening, that comes all the way here like this and compresses all the trash, and then it opens back up again so they can fit more. Hopefully this one doesn't have any secret snakes so that R2-D2 doesn't have to shut down the trash compactor level.
It's agreed they can make sure that one battery gets pierced, and then let the myth run its course.
All right, our garbage truck is in place, everyone is ready, and it's time to start setting fire to some batteries, like this one. This is a lithium polymer used by hobbyists for remote control cars and planes. It's not inconceivable that one of these could get compromised in a trash compactor by a piece of lawn furniture, a spiky piece of metal, but we're not going to just keep compacting trash to hope that'll happen. Oh, no, no, no. We're going to compromise this battery on purpose, using a rig we designed just for this. The battery will sit here in this little cradle. This terrible model of the Empire State Building will be placed in this hole with its spike at the battery. When the compactor starts moving, it will contact this Empire State Building spike, driving it through the heart of the battery. And as we know from experimentation, these batteries light up very quickly and burn very hot and fast. Oh, it's like Christmas.
And as with so many of Adam's Christmases, there will be men standing by with hoses.
Okay, Mythbusters, are you guys ready?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. All right, Tim, go ahead and dump the first load of trash.
Wow.
Someone forgot to put their trash in the trash bag.
Yeah, this is a lot trashier than I expected trash to be.
All right, Tim, let's load the second dumpster full of garbage.
Oh my God. Oh.
This extra load of putrid waste persuades Adam to suit up.
All right, let's go make this rig hot.
Before initiating phase 1, the first battery will of course be crushed by the compactor, but they're deploying the spike to guarantee there's a rupture.
This is terrible.
A barrage of trash talk doesn't help.
Get in there, Adam! Stick your face in it!
The difficulty is that second load was really heavy. It was almost entirely food waste. So, woohoo!
Like a starving raccoon, Adam burrows deep into the garbage to set the spike. Now we're ready for phase 2.
The other part of the equation, the popcorn, if you will.
With 2 extra batteries randomly tossed in the mix,
they're almost ready.
It's time to find out if the big squeeze could end in a stinking inferno.
Okay, you guys all ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Adam for Tim, go ahead and start compaction.
Starting compaction.
Here we go. Oh! Oh my goodness. We got it.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was really good.
To everyone's total surprise, we have almost instant ignition.
We have a trash fire. Yeah. Oh.
But as Valerie reminds us, it's no more than a promising start.
We already know that if you apply pressure to our batteries, it'll light on fire. But what we want is a chain reaction.
So I'm going to use a wrist slingshot to put a battery in there, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Over the years, Adams proved his prowess with a whole arsenal of unusual weapons. Often to test out some truly weird myths.
Now, I'm quite sure you all agree with me that the weapon I've chosen for killing zombies, the axe, is far superior to the gun.
Too much late-night TV convinced Adam that swinging an axe was the best way to save humanity. And they called this one Confirmed. Obviously, the blade wasn't real, but it's okay. We're pretty sure the zombies weren't either. Adam may be an awesome axe man, but when it comes to a slingshot, he's no Bart Simpson.
Woo! That was supposed to be awesome. I have another battery. Here we go.
And getting that much hoped-for chain reaction means adding more fuel to the fire.
Yeah!
How many batteries did you throw in there?
Several.
There's a chance, though, that none of them catch fire.
This wasn't something that occurred to me before, but that second load was mostly household trash, which means it was a lot of orange peels and food and diapers. It was wet, wet, wet.
But in less than a minute, one after another,
That was a big, that was a big one.
they get their mythical chain reaction, or as Adam prefers to call it, popcorn from hell.
I feel like we're good. You guys want to call it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tim, go ahead and compact all the flaming garbage out of your truck.
With no other catalyst than sheer pressure, they've turned a truck full of household waste into a trash inferno. And the Livermore Pleasanton Fire Brigade is on hand to clean up the mess.
This is nasty.
Yeah, but it was successful. And let me remind you, we were not testing whether or not lithium batteries can catch fire or explode when they're pinched or heated. We were testing whether one in a garbage truck can set up a chain reaction and cause popcorn from hell. How do we find?
Totally worked.
Totally worked.
Yes.
Confirmed.
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 Remember, kids,
Dispose of your batteries responsibly. I said rispose.
Me too.
Testing the idiom straight as an arrow
so close
means jumping through a whole lot of hoops.
Brilliant!
And the weapon of choice is a compound bow.
We're almost there, and now it's time to dial in the aim on our compound bow. And in order to do that without destroying a ton of arrows, we've scooched everything to the right. We've placed this aiming hole, wow, exactly 12 inches to the right, that we hope to do like 95% of our dialing in without the danger of the axis in the way, so that when we're done, we scooch the whole rig back 12 inches and fire it through all the rings, in theory. In practice, quite honestly, I have no idea if we're going to be able to do it.
If a test arrow can make it clean through the yellow ring and go on to hit the bullseye, they know that at least they have a chance to match Odysseus. After one or two deft adjustments,
Really lined
Good.
up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it one more little bump here.
they're set to fire.
Range is going hot.
All right, firing in 3, 2, 1. Come here, look.
Super close.
We are very respectably close.
Where did it hit this?
We touched the ring.
It's not good enough. They'll have to reload, recalibrate, and try again.
2, 1.
Dude! It destroyed the pineapple. It just...
Lining up this arrow has proven to be a lot more difficult than we were expecting, because normally you aim for the thing that's at the end of the arrow's flight, like our target. But because we have something that's in the middle of its flight, which is our ring that we're trying to get it through, it's proving to be a lot more difficult to line it up.
But each successive shot gets them closer and closer until...
Firing in 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
That was...
Yes!
Dude, that looked absolutely perfect.
And just as important, did the arrow sail through the ring?
Oh my goodness.
Right
Touch it.
through the middle. Wow.
Didn't touch it.
Good.
That's in our zone.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Perfect. All right, let's move the whole rig over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's with extreme care that their finally calibrated shooting rig is moved back in line with that ominous array of steel rings. And don't forget, the only character to ever make this shot was fictitious.
It's go time. Our axes are lined up. Our bow shooting rig has been aimed to the best of our abilities, adjacent to the axis. And now it's been moved into line, so it's looking down the throat of history. Odysseus, here we come.
It's worth recalling that this challenge in itself is a myth. There's no record of anyone before Bowmaster Byron attempting it, and no expectation that it's actually possible.
Range is going hot.
Here we go. Odysseus shot. Firing in 3, 2, 1. What?
Did it
What?
do it?
No
Did it do
way.
it? Did it do it?
Oh my
We hit that target!
Come here.
Just hit that target!
It's a one-shot wonder. Actually, it's more like a miracle.
What the hell?
Dog, high fives! Oh my God! Crazy!
That is some wicked setup we We have.
I did not expect that the first time.
That should not have worked like that.
This will go down in Mythbuster history!
Yes. I need to check that high speed. I need to see what happened.
This is mesmerizing. I don't believe my eyes.
This is literally a mythological shot. All right, guys. It's time to call this one. Does an arrow actually fly straight?
Well, Odysseus used a longbow, and we were only able to accomplish this with a compound bow.
This is true.
And I'm pretty sure Odysseus wasn't a robot.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Every arrow that we did shoot had oscillation and wiggle to it.
But we did just shoot the straightest shot that we could ever shoot.
That's true.
And even if we used modern technology in this, we still were able to accomplish this feat.
All right, I think that makes it obviously plausible.
Plausible. Odysseus wasn't a robot?
No!
Why would he be a robot?
No.